So the Buddha says, and he says this over and over and over, any opinion that you cling to is a solidification of the sense of self. And it has to be taking you towards delusion. The ability to not cling to an idea would be the beginning of letting go of your program, my program. This is not about the idea that one person is right and one person is wrong. It's about the ability to love one another and to respect each other's position. So I was standing outside and I saw the sign that said, torture is always wrong. Well, that's a no-brainer, right? I went to a seminar 30 years ago, I guess 35 years ago, with my analyst in New York. It's the first time I'd ever seen him, Dr. Whitman. One of the, probably the wisest man I ever knew. At that seminar, he said, if I had to, we was talking about ahimsa, the law of nonviolence. He said, if I were in a room with a gun, and there was a man standing, and it was Adolf Hitler, it was 1934, and I knew I had the power of vision so that I could see what he was going to do. And Dr. Whitman was Jewish, by the way. He said, I would kill him, gladly. He said, if I could save 10 million people's lives, I would take on that bad karma. I'm not suggesting to you that I would do that, and I'm not suggesting to you that you should do that. But it's very easy to live by slogans. And again, to get lost in clinging to an idea, to cling to an idea without, which again is just a way of solidifying the sense of self. This is what the Shoshan says when he says, what is this? And you name it, and you name it with this attachment to a name, to an idea, to a belief. Buddhism teaches that we have the capacity to go to some place inside of what? Does anyone know what the answer is going to be? Where is it that we're all trying to sort of like go? It's called silence. Silence. Silence of the heart. What belief that you're willing to march down the street with shouting and screaming and hating the other side, what belief resides in the place of silence? What thought exists in the place of silence? So, the place of silence is the place of moving away from being able to say. It's a bamboo stick, right? Pro-choice is right. Right. Whatever the belief. Liberalism is right. Conservatism is right. Right? It doesn't really matter. It's a bamboo stick. That's all it is. It's an idea that yourself, that helps you to hold on to some delusion of self. So, if you go in meditation to this place of absolute silence, and I'm going to read something about that in just a minute. It's beautiful. I used to read this all the time. Well, I guess I ain't going to read it. I'm going to read it right now, because this is one half of a translation of one of the Upanishads. I don't think this has got a beginning, middle, and end. Do you think? Self is everywhere, shining forth from all beings, vaster than the vast, subtler than the most subtle, unreachable, yet nearer than breath, than your heartbeat, yourself is nearer than your heartbeat. Eye cannot see it. Ear cannot hear it. Tongue cannot utter it. Only in deep absorption can the mind, grown pure and silent. That's not something that's going to be clinging to a belief, right? That my side is right and your side is wrong. It doesn't happen when you reach that state. There's nothing to have that belief. Mind, in deep absorption, grown pure and silent, merges with formless truth. He who finds it is free. He has found himself or herself. She has solved the great riddle. Her heart is forever at peace. Whole, he enters the whole. Her personal self returns to its radiant, intimate, deathless source. As rivers lose name and form when they disappear into the sea, the wise woman, the wise man leaves behind all traces when they disappear into the light. Perceiving the truth, they become the truth. They pass beyond all suffering, beyond death. All the knots of the heart are loosened. That's the state of leaving clinging. Okay? That's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, is that not obvious, right? I mean, that if you probably that person would not be a very, very convicted conservative voting Republican or a convicted Democrat. It would be a person who had the capacity of moment to moment to moment, just simply spontaneously working with and being with whatever feels right, is right in the moment. Not relying on this old program and all of these patterns that says, well, this is my position because it was my position. That was my position yesterday. Bound to be my position today.